uncannily and not planned, the perfect segue to tonight's topic. So, um, I did a lot of the work on that book at a local cafe. And now that the book is done, I just take my 5-year-old to the cafe and we hang out and relax. Um, and then like I say to the barista, like, I don't have to work on the book anymore. But actually the cafe is where I was gonna start. So I'm gonna share a photo. When we ordered our drinks, my daughter got a hot chocolate and I got a coffee. And like them just sitting next to each other just made me feel so cozy. Cozy enough, in fact, that today I'm wearing my pajamas. That's my secret reveal. Because that's what I want us to write about. I want us to write about things that make us feel cozy or comfortable. Kristen, I see you have a hot drink there. That's definitely on my list. Yeah, looks like a nice cup of tea. So you could write about, yeah, your favorite hot drink, your favorite pair of pajamas, your favorite cozy place. Um, so I'm gonna say let's get right into it so we can have plenty of time for discussion at the end. The way it works is you just grab a paper or or your computer or your phone or whatever you want to write on. I'll give you 10 minutes. I'll let you know when there's about a minute left so you can wrap it up. And then you can share anything about it or you don't have to share at all. So just a reminder to be on mute during the next 10 minutes, and I'll call you back um, when we're it's time to stop writing.
Michelle, we've just started writing. Perhaps Lisa, you could share the picture, and the idea is in a cozy spot. You can write about. Is that right? Am I capturing it correctly?
Yeah, to write about what makes you feel cozy.
Yeah. And as you see, Lisa is in her PJs. So I'm going to go on mute and take the next 10 minutes.
We've about a minute left. All right. Um, if you're still writing, you're always welcome to keep doing so. Now is the time I'd like to invite anyone who wants to um, join our, like just a really casual chat. Um, and then I always want to say that 10 minutes is short. It's a good way to kind of get started. But if you feel like it sparks something and you want to write more, now or by yourself later, that is always a nice idea. So I don't know if you could hear my child crying in the background. I'm sorry if you do. It's distracting me a little bit, but she's with her dad. But anyway, does anyone have anything they'd want to share about what they wrote about? So I wrote about the two cups that I showed a picture of at the beginning of. If you missed it, it was my daughter's hot chocolate next to my cup of coffee that we had at a cafe this morning, and how that made me feel extra cozy. And it was a rainy day here, so it was like just like the perfect day for it. And yeah, it was just fun exploring that moment, sort of diving back into it. Um, get more for my money's worth from the coffee, I guess. So if anyone has anything else to share, you don't have to read what you wrote. You can just share anything about it.
I'll share. I also started thinking about like my coziest times, and it's
Mhm.
also like when it's raining out, like you're inside and it's warm and you're comfortable and you're in your, for me, my stretchy clothes that
Mhm.
don't irritate me.
Yeah,
And then also like having things around that people gave me, as a gift of love. So like a quilt, or like I have a friend who gives me tea, and so drinking that, and just then you can kind of, even if they're not there with you, I can feel the love they're giving me and sending my way.
I love that. I feel that way about several different blankets that people have made and they've ended up in our house or been given to us or whatever.
It's nice.
Oh, I guess I could. Oops.
Wait, James, is that a bird?
Yes,
That's
he won't leave my
awesome.
side anymore.
I've never seen him in all these times we've
Well, he's
talked.
relatively new. They replaced one that I lost in September,
Mhm.
but
What's his
he's very independent. What?
What's his name?
Phlox.
Oh, precious.
I love.
It's a combination because it's also the name of a flower.
Oh,
Mhm.
And my late wife and I used to name all our birds after Star Trek characters.
hmm.
Oh, I love it.
So this is going along with that legacy.
That's
But he won't
awesome.
leave my side anymore. So I've just given up and trying to keep him away because he's a very, very strong flyer.
Mm.
And I land up chasing him all over the house.
Oh, sure. Oh
Um,
man, there's some puppy action on the Zoom call too. This is
yeah,
awesome.
but
Anyway,
any
I'll let you
case, what
share,
I
Jen.
wanted to share was given that I live alone and don't have any I don't have any family anywhere near me. My favorite thing is to sit with this thing on the couch in my living room, which also the couch has a recliner on it, if I care to. Often watching the TV, which I tend to watch some of the old shows that have very positive ending with great actors that give me pleasure and enjoyable. Edge helps me mitigate my migraine pain because it's a significant distraction and generates good endorphins.
I hadn't thought of TV shows when I was giving the prompt, but that makes a lot of sense, especially if it's one you've seen before.
Yeah, I things like Love Boat and Fantasy Island, those kinds of things,
Mm.
and they show them on broadcast these days. So I actually record them so I can see them again if I want.
It's nice. Lisa, you sparked something in me. You said your 4-year-old daughter, you took me back over 3 decades. And I realized my comfy spot is actually my bed. I always get in at about 6 at night with my dog, and I can't wait. And I read or I daydream, listen to music, or go to sleep or try to go to sleep. And it started because when she was growing up, I would have I wrote about the attacks of head pain and throwing, all the things we all experience, all the
Mhm.
side effects.
Yeah.
And she called it, she would climb into bed in her PJs with excitement that it was going to be a stay in bed day with mommy. And yeah, and I have 5 children. So by the end of the day, it was full with toys and kids. So from what being in bed with a very bad migraine has made it a happy place full. And I also don't live near family, so full of love.
Oh, I love
And
that. Thank you.
I had not thought about that in years. So thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
I wrote about my cat. I, like James, I too lost my husband several years ago, and having Thomas has been the great comforter, and he always knows when I have the headaches. So he comes and lies on me and purrs. So, yeah.
I love cats. They're the best when you want that cozy feeling and that comfort and um just that companionship that I think people don't realize cats can give. We definitely have time for a couple more people to share.
Well, since some old TV shows were mentioned, I'll mention one of my memories was sitting on the couch when I was younger with my mom and dad and my brother on Friday nights, and we would watch The Hulk and Quincy and the Rockford Files.
Mhm.
I remember watching The Hulk. That was a good one.
Yeah. They don't make them like they used to.
No. It's funny how it's come up a couple times, either solo or even like with the family TV viewing. It can just be like a really nice way to, you're talking, Patty, about young kids and Michelle about yourself being the kid, but it can just be a really nice experience with those you love, or even in remembrance of those you love to like cuddle up and
I like too that people have mentioned things from long ago because nostalgia has been a big one for me recently in the last couple of years for like a cozy kind of thought and just reminiscing on times long ago when things were much quieter and there was a lot less stimulation in our world. So getting migraines, when I was 20 are were a lot less debilitating back then as they are now that I'm almost 40. So it's kind of like we're so bombarded by LEDs and all this technology and everything now. So just that whole nostalgia in general is a really cozy thought and feeling and everything for me. Like I'm obsessed with the 80s and things like that. And I just love watching 80s shows and or even, shows made today that are have an 80s spin like Stranger Things on Netflix and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Like it's just so fun and it just takes me back and makes me feel like I'm a kid again. And I just love that.
Yeah,
I love that too. And I love like some of the kids at my daughter's elementary school like wear clothes that we wore in like the 80s or early 90s, and that makes me happy too.
well, there was, yeah, it helps to go back because there seems to be a lot more civility then than there is now, which the lack of it creates, I think, a lot of stress for people.
It does, James. One of the things I actually wrote on my writing just a little bit ago is cozy's that early morning hours before all the chaos begins because our world, to a degree is unhinged right now. And I know as a person that gets migraine quite frequently, and mine is very environmentally based, the chaos of the world is definitely a big trigger for me, the stress and the chaos. So yeah, I just thinking back to times when I didn't have to worry about all of that.
That makes sense. Even just before, like, we were so reachable by other people, like in the phones and everything.
I retired recently and I have the fortune to try and create cozy throughout my day. So for me, I can wear some comfortable pair of flannels, which I have on right now, and I can cuddle with my partner's dog or put on some alpaca socks and dimly light my room and just appreciate, the kind of the soft lights and the plants and the textures and put on a cashmere hat and make my head feel cozy if my head hurt. And I commented to myself that cozy can often elude me, but by just sitting and breathing and, gently softening my eyes and stroking my dog and, looking at this list, I can create cozy for myself when I need it.
I love that. It sounds too like there's a certain level of gratitude for that ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning to create cozy, mm, partially by, you know, creating a cozier mind, being more gentle and more accepting of what is and what I can't control and not pushing against it so much to change it. That creates distress and not cozy.
You just created a hot thought for me that for a tool that I use that's strongly related to this as we're talking, that I learned many years ago. Gosh, it must have been in the mid 80s that I took when I worked for Apple, some what's called the 7 Habits Stephen Covey training.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was talked about a lot was two circles, the circle of influence and a circle of concern. And if you think of the circle of concern as a larger circle with the circle of influence inside of it, focusing on the circle of concern, there's nothing you can do about any of that. So it might be useful to some extent to be aware of it, but not to focus on it, but focus instead on the circle of influence, those things that you can make a difference. And I
Right.
find that to be a very helpful stress reliever and help me deal with the day by day stuff that's going on. by just not trying, by avoiding to focus on things that I have no influence on and that I can't change, but focusing on that circle of influence, with often when successfully doing something within that really creates a feeling of gratitude and accomplishment. So I just thought I'd pass that one along.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I think that and a cozy brain is like the perfect place to end.
Cozy mind.
Cozy mind, yeah.
Yes.
My brain, your brain can be unhappy, but you can create softness in your mind.
Mhm.
That's great, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Lisa. May I read a poem that coincidentally just really fits into what we did tonight, and it's from the Dear Migraine book, which, for those of you who don't know, people wrote about or created beautiful art about personal relationships with migraine. And what I learned from this is the amazing resilience in our community. And I won't read the whole poem because I will read it's called Swimming in Compassion. And the first half is about how migraine brings us down. And the second half is buoyed by hope, love, and good friends, lifted with care, concerned, and hands that extend, boosted by joy, laughter, and holiness that transcends, bolstered by resilience, bravery, and after a fashion, I find I'm swimming in compassion.
That's nice.
Mhm.
She has some nice art with that poem as well, if I recall.
Yeah. There, I can share that too. Beautiful
Yeah,
art.
please hold it up.
Oh wait, I just lost how did I lose the page?
You think I'd memorize what page they were all on at this point?
They're beautiful. Lisa, the hours you spent really placing the art from a different artist, a different creator than the text. It was just unbelievable. Now I can't even find the poem. I had it marked, and of course my marker fell out. Just a minute. This is embarrassing. Okay. I know, and I think of how many read-throughs we had of this book.
This is
And
the
every time I read it, I hear.
you got it.
Is this you found it too? Yeah.
But mine is like the test copy, so yours is better.
Yeah, but there's just beautiful art.
What's the name of the book again?
It's called. Go ahead, Lisa.
It's called Dear Migraine, and if you
Oh,
go
okay.
on Amazon, I put a link in the chat, but I don't know if I did it right. But if you
You
go
did
on
it right.
Amazon, it should come up.
Yeah, I tested it tonight. If you just put in Dear Migraine, you'll get the book.
Mm.
And look at the cover. This was one of our community members submitted.
Yeah.
And what was amazing to me was we had lots of submissions,
Mhm.
and we were able to accept really all of them. I think there was one
Yeah.
that it wasn't to weed out what was appropriate and not. And one of our goals was, and this was what Lisa talked about, and Lisa, I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but to keep the voice of the author,
Yes. Yep.
the editing work.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
with
we did.
editing. Yeah,
Um,
and there were sometimes if someone submitted like a lot of things, we selected a few from that person, but there was no one we turned away.
yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's voice.
everyone had something.
And what I found, the common thread with this should be migraine and horrible pain, but it's really living. Did you find that? And finding joy.
Yeah.
Although there's pretty, you'll relate to a lot of the descriptions of pain, but it's a relationship with it rather than a victim of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
anyway,
beautifully put. You should write a review on Amazon if you haven't yet.
I will. so self-conscious about my writing. Anyway, thank you so much, Lisa. Any last question for Lisa before we say goodnight?
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you another time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.